afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast. Me, your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, the only authorized and sanctioned source of companies to casting. Remember to subscribe, like, and share and all that, of course, and press the bell button. We're off here to 1 vs 1 on, you guessed it, Nexus. In the west, it is Nosmarkov fighting here for the Red Army. Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, taking on the role here of the 1st Guards Mechanized Corps versus in the east, it is Jove. Apologies for that one. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 3rd Panzer Division with armored or mechanized assault. His opponent's got armored assault. Jaeger infantry and elite troops with triple infantry. Penal troop infantry and saddle charges there for Nosmarkov. Certainly one thing to note, there's 2 of the doctrines have access to Tiger tanks in some form or the other. And they certainly all have some sort of infantry calling as well. So some overlapping elements there, but overall it's just sort of very aggressive doctrines in a sense. We got double gun list there for Joe, Pioneers there, double conscripts for Nosmarkov. No sign of the MD42s yet here. Might be he's going to skip it. Some players like to do that occasionally, though I imagine an MD42 in particular versus a conscript build is going to be absolutely crucial. Going to do moving up here as engineers. Pioneers sending down sandbags here around the point. This is going to focus north, and so I think to an extent he's going to telegraph that. Oh, actually he's sending Grenadiers south as well there. Bit risky in some ways though, since, I mean, you know, the Wehrmacht is kind of needed to sort of play more cooperatively with its forces early on, rather than risking being isolated and destroyed. Seizing points here. Nosmarkov churning out more infantry to fight the fascist scourge with. Pioneers going here for the fuel put up north. Engineers holding up here in an old abandoned building. Opening up there in the Pioneers. Who knows what they made in there? For all we know, it could be, I don't know, pornography for Hermann Goering they made in there. Grenadiers heading northwards there. Grenadiers heading southwards. Slowly Grenadiers are being flanked. You see then, Jove just retreats, realising that engagement is lost. He could have tried sticking around to, like, maybe do some damage, but that'd just be a waste of manpower. Plus, of course, he'd be defeating his opponent experience rather than doing that, you know, finding a senseless battle. He just retreats. That's a good unit preservation there for Jove, by the way. And certainly a good way of just evaluating the battle. Like, are you winning this? No. Are you gaining anything from just standing around there? No. Well, retreat. That's usually one of the sort of small tips there. 4th conscript there for Nosmarkov, Jove for more Grenadiers. I mean, with the way that Nosmarkov's handling his conscripts, then MD42 2-vote, I think, be a really huge asset there for Jove and the German army. But of course, he could prove me wrong. And of course, with 2 G43 wielding, or 2 D43 docks, and he could certainly push in within. Certainly, he hasn't gone for mechanized assault right away. He hasn't gone for assault Grenadiers right away. So we're already sort of edging towards these 2 doctrines. Since again, if you're going for that many Grenadiers, you're kind of going to add G43s to them, sort of really add some more firepower there on the move as the conscripts. More Grenadiers arriving here for Jove and Germany. In the south fuel pond they're secured. Nosmarkov realising something's going on in the south, has dispatched infantry to sort of scout out the situation and reports that Jove is securing fuel there to Nosmarkov and Stavka. Conscripts are being slowly routed here as Jove is making use of the cover to slowly push back the conscripts. They have to push through with that many sort of Grenadiers around. They can't easily push in there, so he has to fall back here. Because, I mean, while he could try and fit out in the long range, the problem is the Grenadiers there sort of win. So good play there by Jove. Not necessarily hugely, you know, imaginative or wildly maneuver-like, but, you know, he's sort of playing to the Grenadiers' strength as much as possible here, in a sense. So, again, getting some rifle nades up with some, you know, weapons on them would be quite helpful here soon enough. On to an MD42. Having a man in the south there, or at least having defended security, he's moving up from the south to assist it further. Trying to outflank in Nosmarkov, he's pushing in there. Grenadiers doing what they can to focus down the conscripts, going for the no, not the weaker ones first, but sort of the ones getting closer first. There go engineers flanking in. Got played there by Nosmarkov. Of course, Joe is rooming in there from the south further. Field hospital up there for Nosmarkov. We're here. Grenadiers routed there, flame from a particular point of view an issue there. Get good flank there by Nosmarkov. Grenadiers further flanking around here. And Grenadiers out in the open here. A bit of a tricky spot there for jump to with the Grenadiers also low on health. Those Grenadiers in particular need to be retreated. And still no take-up there for Jove. No sign of a doctrine either. Though again, I'm very much anticipating either the Jaeger infantry elite armor, or not elite armor, but elite troops. Elite armor is the Oberkommando West one. And as they're being routed, almost a whack there. He does successfully salvage that one as well. Medic bunker up there for Jove and Germany. Grenadiers got the center victory point. So there you go. Bunker being worked on by very weary Grenadiers with very many burn marks as well. Usually what you want to do with wounded people anyways. Put them to work. Hard work. The German way. Grenadiers are going for the northern Karp, wanting to maybe disrupt Nosmarkov's resource income bit, but also I think just try and drag away his force from the front. And whoa, that's just a full route there. Basically deciding he wants to get them patched up. Jove finally taking up as well. Very good. Very good. Medics on the way there for Jove and Germany. Got the medics. We got Molotovs there. Carve point secured by the German Dritte Panzerdivision. Grenadiers reinforcing. Pioneers saying northwards. Take up halfway done. For Jove. Further northwards there. Consequent southwards there. Halfway to veteran 2-1. Further north, and there we go. Tech done. Heading for the southern fuel point there. Consequent digging in, but Gunners should be able to move into seed and deal with that. No upgrades as of yet. Partly because it doesn't have munitions anyway, so obviously no upgrades will be happening then. Panzer Grenadier here for Jove, adding in some more infantry elements there versus Nosmarkov and his merry band of Marxists. Two countries down there, Grenadiers suffering, I actually think no damage. There may be a slight sort of scratch there on Jurgen's chin. Got the northern victory points, they're good. Got the point here. Grenadiers moving in, Panzer squad almost done. Pioneer sapping here by the northern fuel point. Small standoff here by the south. Panzer Grenadier ready here. Maxim following up there from those markers. We got the support company up there, obviously. Adding some machine guns to help counter Joe's infantry, so he's been something the one with the machine gun out first. Slight surprise there. Certainly not a bad play at all there by Nosmarkov. Got the southern victory point almost there. Contra standing on watch there remainingly. Got units moving to assist there. Going to try and flash out the lone Grenadier squad on the south. Good play there, I think, by Nosmarkov. Punishing Joe there. Oh, but maybe Joe's got a trick up his sleeve. Panzer Grenadiers. But there you go. Pushing to the north here. Grenadiers trying to back up here, but they are being slowly overwhelmed here by Nosmarkov's attack. Grenadiers being focused down pretty hard. Need to retreat now. Before this is too late there, Herr Jove. Panzer they're going for the units conditioning what they can as well there. Closing down the Panzers there by the fuel point. That's going to mean the controls enter up because there's 8 Panzer Grenadiers caught with only 4 men left. They stand no chance, those conscripts. Grenadiers falling back, kept already exposed out in the open. There's all that many conscripts with no firepower. Joe's Grenadiers, I think, will not be able to last long. We got a second maximum out there for Nosmarkov and the Red Army. Nosmarkov there committing heavily to machine guns. Probably the addition of these Panzer Grenadiers squad caused them to just figure that more suppressive firepower is going to be a really good addition here versus Jove and his German buddies there. I like to make a nice company being dug in here. Not a bad choice at all. Could go for 2-2s, but a pack 40 of course would also make a ton of sense. Maximum in here should be able to deal with the Panzer Grenadiers. Joe spots them, begins pulling back there. Obviously doesn't want to have to retreat his Panzer Grenadiers right away, if at all. Preferably he would prefer the enemy retreats. Healing up in the south so he doesn't have to retreat them. Good work there. And there we go, we got the 2-2, the Leichte Panzerspeerwagen out here for Jove and the Dritte Panzerdivision. Can't continue doing what you do here versus the Grenadiers. Slowly bleeding out. Got more Grenadiers moving up, noting still no doctrine and still no upgrades for the Grenadiers here for Jove. 2-2 halfway done. Nosmarkov will actually begin taking up right north for the tank battalion command, maybe push out a fast T7. You could even consider going for the fast mechanized armor company versus Jove. Either of those two I think would be a pretty solid decision there for Nosmarkov. And these are being slowly overwhelmed here by Jove's counterattack. Oh, Nosmarkov's counterattack in the south, Panzer moving in there. Could flank if they don't get stopped by the maximum not away. There we go. Dodges that one. Very good. Northern field being secured. Carve point here being secured. Back here going to be sitting up. There we go. Bomb grenade off. On the Maxim, clever. Basically, sort of, you might think he's going here, so he's going to be paying more attention to the unit there, but instead he goes to the Maxim, just like deals with that, and then of course he pays attention to that, and the 2 win from the other side. So, nice little sort of swifty play there by Jove. Pioneers grabbing the southern, or got the point here. Grenadiers almost got the northern fuel point as well, giving Joe here a fuel advantage over Nosmarkov, at least sort of in terms of how much getting per minute, though Nosmarkov definitely has more fuel right now than Jove. And we'll have to see when he begins using it again. Back here in Joe's base, he could begin considering taking up now, though he's going to need, more fuel tech to do anything with the said tech, but he could do it. Sandbags by the center victory point. We got 423 versus 480. Nosmarkov, though, definitely should be taking up soon. Even not now. So we'll have to see what he ends up with. Engineers certainly looking like they might be set to task constructing something mighty and tanky there for Nosmarkov, and there you go. Tank Infantry Command there being laid down there for Nosmarkov. Still no upgrades for the gun here for Jove. Or again, any sort of sign of a doctrinal choice there. And he's moving far in the north here. Bit of skirmish in the south as well is soon to happen. Max in the back get flanked. Pioneers laying down some aggressive telemines. 2-2 trying to provide some lighter fire support here for some of Jove's infantry in the north. Max and flank, and there go routes, because if you try to deal with the Pioneers, then the Pentagon is just moving to the south. And if he ignores the Pioneers, they will eventually kill the Maxims, so he just has to retreat. This is pretty much the only thing that Nosmarkov could have done. I wouldn't think necessarily at one point just, result in the machine gun being lost. Pack 45 for Jove. He's clearly worried about Nosmarkov rushing up tanks. A sense of worry versus any sort of competent Soviet player. They will, in most cases, rush out a T-70 versus you. There will be a few cases where they don't, but in the vast majority they will rush out T-70 versus you unless they really feel like A, they can get out T-34 pretty fast, or they feel like the T-70 is not going to make any actual impression, which is a minority of cases. I mean, a T-70 not making impression is roughly pretty much like, a Trump tweet that's dumb not somehow catching attention. Like, it's bound to happen. T-70 in the way there for Nosmarkov, got the fuel point here, grabbing the victory point as well. Pack 40 around there for Jove, but might want to consider still taking out there, since it's usually one of the Wehrmacht's advantages. You get the Pommerkopf just getting out some Panzers and Strugs. Concerned with his opponent going for the T-70. He's actually, I think, got the sort of possible resource each and extra land to push out a faster Pommerkopf, or fast-ish. I think it's sort of a better way to put it, fast-ish. So Pommerkopf versus Nosmarkov, again hitting with a medium armor. Particularly when he's controlling the fuel points now as well as he are against Nosmarkov. That'd be a really great idea for Jove. Got light machine guns up. Still not some of a doctrine. I mean, Jaeger infantry, I feel like it's slightly looking less likely, unless it goes sort of for the stupid close air support. And mechanized assault becomes more likely alongside elite troops, because he's then aiming, I think, for some of the later game options then to form the Tiger tank or the Tiger race. I hope he's not trying to stall for it though, as I think that would be a bit daft for Joe, but that's just me. They're falling nicely on the 2-2, pushing down half of alongside the 2-2. Pioneers hanging about here as well. Need to get out of there before that. Oh, got the T-70. There's a bit of slip there on Nosmarkov. I think he's trying to focus too much on taking out the 2-2 and forgot to get his T-70 out of the line of fire. Definite tactical win there for Jove. Even ends up losing the 2-2. He took out a T-70. That's pretty big. Southern fuel for them in grab, but the engineers good work trying to get that Pack 40 as well there. Fresh push to the north as well by Nosmarkov and the Red Army. Comes continuing their harried pursuit here with 2-2-2. On the sky there we got Betchin 2, 11 kills. Troops in reinforcing. He's easily got the resources now to take up and just begin churning out tanks here versus Nosmarkov. Nosmarkov could take up, he wouldn't be able to get up for a tank, and there go roughing it off right unless they're going to use conscripts, but still not enough to really force a rout there. Nosmarkov stands defiant in the north. Another T-70 for Nosmarkov, that's really bold. I mean, again, if Joe at this point is taken for armor, he's going to be hurting a lot, so I'm not entirely sure I'd advocate this option. And I'm pretty sure what passes for the Codex Astartes in the Sodan would also tell you to stop that in this situation. But then, anyways, Grenadiers flanking up here behind the Maximum. Good work there by Jove. Good push. With the double light machine guns, if one gets some pressure, be able to do some heavy damage. They could actually wipe out the Maximum if Nosmarkov is too slow there. Very close to getting wiped out, in fact. But gets a bit lucky. They've popped in a rifle grenade. He might have a slight chance there. Take over there for Joe, whereas Nosmarkov again is going for another T-70. And it's also very crucial to note he's got no anti-tank weapons. I mean, he has anti-tank grenades, but that's not really going to seriously stop a Panzer IV, an Ostwind, a Tiger, or a Tiger Race, or whatever else. So, and obviously, he's not going to be able to rush out the Tiger Race or whatever he wants to, but it's still something to keep in mind down the road. And a fast Ostwind right now is just a fast-ish Panzer IV. But I think spell a lot of trouble here for Nosmarkov. Tier 4 for Jove. Ooh. I'm definitely starting to perhaps smell a elite troops Tiger Race rush here from Jove. A bold and aggressive maneuver indicating either he really wants to go for the Tiger Race. He's feeling confident he can pull it off here versus Nosmarkov at the current moment. Which he might be, but it does still mean he's giving Nosmarkov a bit of a room to sort of catch up with. So that's a bit dangerous there for Jove in some ways. I'm saying he's losing control of the northern fuel point, but not impossible, certainly not an entirely bad idea, but it has risks. Take it almost on, off need on the maximum, almost got it hosed down. Once more, though, it does escape here the final salvo there from Jove's Grenadiers. Got the centrifuge point, they're almost under control again for the German army. The deleted parts of the short grenades being routed by the T-70 constant maximum as well there. Engineers packing it all up. Take up done. He just needs a Panzer Corps, and you know, he can go for the Tiger Race. He could of course go for a Panther first, which would be very recommendable. Again, he could also just go for the Tiger Race, but again, it does give Nosmarkov more time to stabilise before he gets hit by a large yellow tank, which is not to be confused with a large yellow submarine. Yellow submarine might take you to a nice place with a lot of nice music. A large yellow tank is going to take you to an early grave. Pack 40 there getting a move on. And there you go. Hit your Panzer Corps up there for Jove and the German army. Ooh, Panzer hitting the retreating. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That actually, I think the chance would be much higher. So there's a decent chance of getting one of these. Yeah, one constant squad, and the other one could also like to go down here. Getting two constant squad is going to be absolutely humongous there against Nosmarkov. Oh, he's down in just one infantry squad right now. He's got the Pack 40, which will help. But he still lost two constant squads. I mean, that is just huge for Joe. That is massive. Pack cleared out, the T-70 canisters. Got a field gun out there for Nosmarkov, but right now his situation is looking a bit horrid. Field gun close quarters bombardment here. Oh, trying to catch him. The advanced gun doesn't quite pan out. We got a bomb grenade from the field gun. Does some hits. There we go. Molotov on the Pack 40. So at least keep that on the hands. They need to get the T-70 in a safer position, so he doesn't just grab the Pack 40 and be taking out the T-70 with a final shot. They're offering it up from the field gun maximum. Huge casualties there as well. But still he manages to hold down the troops and call in their support, buying himself a bit more time. The problem is now, again, he's not going for a Tiger Race, he's actually going for the Sturmpanzer. And the Tiger Race could be sort of a reserve option, so the Sturmpanzer is going to be faster. So I like that option. Better than just going for the Tiger Race, though. I won't suppose, a part of me won't deny I would have liked to see a Tiger Race rush. I mean, again, it's not something I'd recommend in like 99% of the cases, but it looks fun, it looks fun. T-70 sitting out against the Grenadiers. More pioneers in the way there for Jove. Sturmpanzer for almost down there for Jove and the German army. Nosmarkov, I think at this point, is basically sort of in the desperation IS-2 sort of plan. And that's only one thing worth noting that's going to sort of happen once the patch hits out as well. I mean, it's not just stall strategy going to be harder, but just the overall sort of usual sort of like, you know, backup or Scheisse plan. We just somehow stall for the heavy tank because, you know, it's sort of your best chance to come back. That's kind of out of the window, at least a lot harder. So that's going to be interesting to see as well how that pans out. I mean, the Allies aren't going to have an easy time for the Wehrmacht, the whole, you know, desperation stall for the Tiger tank. I think that's going to hit a bit of a roadblock. Doubling tank there was a Sturmpanzer. Quickly doing a lot of damage there, passing using go for just blindly charging in there with it. Giving Nosmarkov some precious moments there of breathing space. We've got a Panzer following up for Joe. Still no doctrine though, I mean. We're almost 20 minutes of the game, then Jove has yet to commit to a doctrine. That does feel a bit like an oversight there. Bit of an oversight. I mean, again, I guess the Jaeger infantry could be on the table simply for the Stuka close air support, but I don't know. Elite troops will also give him Panzertation for Zama, which would be very helpful, plus Stormtroopers, sort of, you know, quick calling there could also be very handy with MP40s. So I think what Joe needs to do is slightly reconsider his tactics, because right now he's just sort of allowing Nosmarkov to use his, well, shall we say, rather minimal forces more effectively by overall, you know, increasing the amount of chair tracks he needs to hold when considering the map is all much wider and bigger. That's not really what Joe should be doing. There you go. Panzerwehr for 42 out here for Jove. Sturmpanzer then done, need repairs. Nosmarkov starting to look very close to the IS-2. We are roughly a minute away here from an IS-2 heavy tank running over Jove and possibly his dreams, because right now then Jove's all of a sudden in the sticky spot there. When that IS-2 hits, he's got no anti-tank weapons. I mean, he's going to have to go for like a desperation Panzerschreck or something, because like he has nothing can always like put a dent in the IS-2. I mean, unless there's someone managed to rush down the anti-tank and secure them both, that IS-2 is going to give Jove a massive headache. There we go, Pack 40 in the way there, Jove. Probably starting to realise what's coming his way. And it's not the ice cream van or a yellow submarine. Constantly reinforcing. IS-2 heavy tank on the way there for Nosmarkov. The Joseph Stalin 2 tank. Pack 40 almost done there for Jove. Still no sign of a doctrine though. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Still, Nosmarkov is going to need more infantry soon. I mean, he's pretty short on infantry. Just one conscript can in the longer run into missions unless Jove just insists on attacking across the same narrow front all the time, in which case he could make it out of there. But there you go, IS-2 there. Pinman machine gun almost done. They're taking engine damage, taking fire there as well, but nothing critical. Sturmpan's almost good to go there for Jove. Pack 40 has arrived, but he's still in the very tricky situation again. He's up against an IS-2 with just a Pack 40. Possibly some Panzerschrecks as well. Of course, that does mean he's got sort of less to clear out the support weapons with easily. There guys who moving in, shattering nearby industrial terrain. Oh, he's trying to move through the Pack 40. I mean, Nosmarkov to realize that he could actually take it out with the T-70 easily. That's going to be pretty bad there for Jove. Pretty bad. Looks like Joe's starting to realise what's going on. He's sending his forces northwards there, basically avoiding Nosmarkov's hard point there, centre of gravity by the centre victory point, slightly north of it. Good play there by Joe. Southern fuel plant is being lost. That's going to make it hard for Joe to get any armour that might really fit. He's now going for the double Pack 40, so Joe's probably realised he's in a tight spot there and he needs to sort of roll back from this. And so we sort of see the problem here with him going for the Sturmpanzer 4 again. Nice, as long as your opponent doesn't get out in IS-2 successfully. So Joe's going to have to do his best here to minimise the overall impact of the IS-2 against his forces and to bring out something that seriously challenges it. Sturmpanzer can go for the troops from the south. Going to claim that victory point. Nice bit of damage, but no casualties, of course. The Sturmpanzer should be able to now actually produce a few of those afterwards with the next shot there. There we go, full wipe there, and he's actually got fresh infantry out there. Thumbs up to Nosmarkov, remembering he needs more infantry. It just for him to then precisely lose the remaining veteran squad he has. The Sturmpanzer 4, also known as the Stupa. Brumba was something the Allies call it, the Western ones anyways. Don't know what the Soviets called it for. I know they could have called it a Chernobyl Boogaloo. There you go. Down Pack 40 and tiny pack from the reeling itself. Joe T-7's taken out. We got air support called in here though. Pioneers moving little, needs to hammer down that. IS-2. Sturmpanzer being flanked with the T-7 as well. Panzerschrecks there up on the Panzergrenadiers. IS-2 taking a lot of damage. There you go. Bidding hard here for Joe to defend. Troops being pinned down. Sturmpanzer all being taken out here. Direct hit on the IS-2 heavy tank, doing some damage to it. IS-2 continues here, misses the Sturmpanzer 4. Needs to get the Panzers down in the support. T-7 flanking the Pack 40. Can't quite finish them off either here. Bit of intense stuff there. Sturmpanzer knocked out. Their Panzergrenadiers moving in to try and take out the IS-2. Nosmarkov's likely anticipating this. He's going to have to try and figure out how to get past the Panzerjägers without taking a lot of rockets right up the tailpipe. And I guess it just decides that the solution is to drive through and hope RNG is on his side. So far, at least the first volley made about as much impact as an Italian platoon would have made on that one. There we go. IS-2 down. Small win there for Joe, but he is still in deep sauerkraut. Here's the T-7 about to take out the Panzerjägers. Oh, looks like they get taken out. He still doesn't have a lot of tank support, and of course there's also the very crucial element. He's lost most of the map, and Nosmarkov can still go for another IS-2 reasonably easily, whereas, well, Jove is still in the tricky spot. He can't easily go for a Panther, Tiger tank, or Tiger race. So let me see how Joe decides to get out of this one. 48 fuel per minute. I mean, he's getting almost 5 times as much fuel here as Jove at the moment. In this regard, Nexus, yes, the same thing there. The crossroads in that you have more resources on the map than other most average maps. Meaning rush strategies, of course, are much more prevalent, but also, you know, if you lose map control, it can completely snowball very rapidly before you can suddenly manage to stem the flow there. An almost dam bursting scenario there. Grab this on the victor point there with the conscript squad. We got one throughout the for Nosmarkov. Thumbs up. Jove, though, is heading northward, trying to play around there. Nosmarkov's blockade group there. Nosmarkov, though, is less than a minute away from the IS-2 number 2. Again, getting a lot of fuel per minute. Tends to do that for you. Still no doctrine for Jove, though. I mean, we are slowly approaching the half-hour moment here. Jove has yet to pick a doctrine. On the other hand, we've also not seen Jove float a ton of resources, which the other service has been one of the more common things. In a lot of his more recent matches, he ends up floating a lot of resources because, well, his opponent doesn't manage to put on a lot of pressure. But in this case, Nosmarkov's managed to do it. He's managed to force Jove to not float resources. So, thumbs up there to Nosmarkov. There you go, second IS-2 out. Panther barrage off here, trying to shatter Nosmarkov's infantry support weapons. Mostly shatters the eardrums and Petrov. IS-2 out there for Nosmarkov. Pinlight machine being added. I'm guessing he might want to go for a target tank here. That could be his plan, I suppose. But so needs to make something of it soon, and Nosmarkov probably at some point should probably consider taking up as well. So you can get up tanks to back up his IS-2. Shots flying against the IS-2, damaging it lightly, but it is still going like a runaway train to Berlin. Trying about aggressively, Gaius support calling to further disrupt Joe's positions here. Very good work there by Nosmarkov. Good call in there, gun is being suppressed. Pack 40s are desperately trying to just haul the packs out of there. And the IS-2 is just bearing down upon them. Like a ton of bricks from Magnitogorsk. IS-2 engaging the Pack 40, they almost got it. And what? That's a pretty big blow to Jove. He's just lost both of his Pack 40s. Meaning he's down to just a pair of Panzerschrecks and his faith in Endseed versus Nosmarkov's IS-2. Then it is white, blown apart there. That's pretty bad for Jove as well. Panther barracks down here as well. I'm guessing it's either Panther or Tiger Tank right now for Jove. We still don't have a Doctrine here though. Really would love to see a Doctrine. Pack 40 destroyed here by Nosmarkov's IS-2 heavy tank. Still, I would say Nosmarkov's managed to recover quite nicely here versus Jove. Despite a rather rough start with some good play there by Jove, he managed to actually sort of come back there. I would say it was slightly at least abetted by Jove going for that Sturmpanzer 4. I think he may not quite count on the possibility of an IS-2 to try and come back with, which allowed then Nosmarkov to pull off the comeback bounce they're using the IS-2, which is always not exactly known for being a bouncy tank. Most tanks aren't really, unless they're made out of rubber and filled with helium. Or hydrogen, if you prefer your decoys to have a bit of a surprise for the opponent as well. Got the match on the south there. Slow something there for Jove. Well, he can go for the Panther in a few moments. He could also go for the Tiger Tank. He could go for theoretically the Tiger Race. I think the Tiger Race might be a bit too far off on the horizon, but you know, who knows? Might be. He needs to try and make his own comeback bouncer versus Nosmarkov with something even bigger and even less bouncy. Yes, exactly. He goes for the least bouncy of things, also the least buoyant of things, with the yellow Tiger Tank. Maxim there versus the advancing Russian, or so troops there. Maxim there being stopped by the Maxim. A nice desperate defense by Jove. Yeah, he's gone for elite troops. It is the Tiger Race. So we are roughly, at the current rate of things, 2.5 minutes, maybe a bit faster than that. He could get some more points on his, you know, domain and hold them. Actually, I mean, that's also going to be the crucial thing. Can he actually hold any of this terrain before, you know, the IS-2 just squishes him? Panzer barrage off into the base, hoping to silence Nosmarkov's infantry. You can't even silence the medics. Those are some tough ladies. And he's being routed by the IS-2 and the T-70. Panzer is holding about there. Tiger Race is slowly approaching there for Jove. He is now less than 2 minutes away here from it. Can he hold out? Can the lines withstand the pressure from Nosmarkov? Maxim once more holding the line here against a flank attempt by Jove. Sniper hanging about. I'm not entirely sure what he's home to catch with it. I mean, it's not that Nosmarkov has a sniper of his own. So I'm not entirely sure what he's home to counter sniper, I guess. Maybe the IS-2. Oh, snot biscuits. The IS-2 killed a few of its own, but it did get the Panzer squad out of the way, and that leaves Jove now in an extra precarious position. Continues right there for the sniper. A small conversation there for Jove as opposed in a realm of darkness and Stalinism. Maxim taking that as well there. Another small win, but the problem is still there's an IS-2 heavy tank at his doorstep. And it's not there to knock. At least if it's knock, it's more a rhetorical knock before it kicks in the door and drags you off to a gulag. It's not about to get wiped out. Maxim wiped out as well. Jove's forces are getting increasingly thinned out. Like a herd of lemmings as it jumps over in a cliff, or in this case gets hurled off a cliff by Disney executives. Ground the northern victory point there, Panzer hanging back here, close to Veterans 1. Conscripts on the way there for Nosmarkov. We are moments away from the Tiger Ace. Can it save the day for Jove? Can it lead him to the promised land of not losing? And is they're being hammered into the ground by the IS-2 like errant nails. Seconds away. And now. And of course, immediately as it arrives, Nosmarkov knows it's there, and of course, he may already have suspected it was coming. He may already have suspected it. T-70 taken out.
Another vehicle has been lost in the defense of the Rodina.
Tiger's rolling head-to-head on assault. I think is not recommended. He's somehow trying to pull off some brilliant flank rather than just charting straight into like Nosmarkov's center of gravity where every single one of his tank weapons is going to be pointing. None of these wiped out there. He might have been charting out the IS-2 pointing into the tank was over the Panzer, but the problem is still going to have so little to come back with. Pack 40 is going to get off a target weak point, I think, but the IS-2 or Tiger Ace really should be doing it because if he stuns that one, Jove's Tiger Ace will not be going anywhere. IS-2 down, but the Tiger is about to get knocked out. And at that point, it doesn't matter if he got the IS-2. Jove is still so far behind, I think his chances are slim. And of course, Nosmarkov can mostly replace his losses because he's been having more of the resources now for most of the time. So we got 233 for 232 versus 309. And a hiccup. Jove's continuing to fight, but... Oh, T-70 abandoned. Another one there for Nosmarkov. Canadians there being routed, fighting for the south here. We got Canadians pushing back the conscripts successfully for the fatherland. T-70 fixed up. By this point, it's very much starting to look like GG here. I mean, there's a chance Jove can recover from this with some really brilliant maneuvers, but considering the way he handled his Tiger Ace, I think the time for brilliant maneuvers from Jove is a bit 7:30. So there you go, game over here. Jove in the end did not succeed here versus Nosmarkov. Brutal battle. I mean, Nosmarkov did manage to come back here from an otherwise well-executed early mid-game there from Jove, but again, Jove's, I think, plan there for stalling into a Sturmpanzer strategy had a few flaws, in part because A, it didn't take into account possibility of Nosmarkov going for the comeback move with the IS-2, but also very crucially, there was still no anti-tank weapons. Seeming like he's gone for something else, like some other tanks. He would have been left Jove there in a very bad spot. So there were some issues there with Sturm's strategy, particularly since he had handed a Pack 40 there to Nosmarkov. So there were some issues there, but also with Jove's tactics, they increasingly became just focusing on rushing straight on. No maneuvers, no envelopments, just, playing to Nosmarkov's strengths. So some room for improvement there for Jove. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell your enemies. And like I do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Every little bit helps me to keep doing these videos, so do consider. This is Imperial Lynching. Cheers. Thank you for watching. So see you tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.